It appeared to me, based on what I experienced, that the U.S. Attorney in Delaware in our investigation was constantly hamstrung, limited, and marginalized by DOJ officials as well as other U.S. attorneys.
United States Attorney Weiss told us that he was not the deciding person, that he had requested and was denied special authority after D.C. declined charges, and that if California declines, he will have to request special authorities again. I understood the gravity of those admissions.
There you go. Two IRS whistleblowers saying the same thing. Joining me right now is Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson. Senator, it's great to see you. Thanks so much for being here this morning. What's your reaction?
Good morning, Maria. Well, first of all, I thought it was pretty interesting that the Democrat Party, the members on that committee that were leading the defund the police movement, are now defending the corrupt partisan actors inside federal law enforcement. I thought that was one takeaway. They made a big deal that U.S. Attorney Weiss was appointed by Donald Trump. I mean, the fact of the matter is he's recommended by Democrat Senators Coons and Carper. He's a Delaware guy. So, yeah, he was appointed by Trump, but he's recommended by those Democrats. And I thought also Democrats were making a really big point that President Biden wasn't even present when a lot of this obstruction and interference was occurring, which just underscores my point that the left has infiltrated these agencies and they've insulated themselves not only from congressional investigation and public scrutiny, but also they've insulated themselves from management by a Republican president. I certainly saw that when I subpoenaed Christopher Wray, and I didn't get squat during the Trump administration. So to me, the Democrats' reaction to this hearing just confirmed all the points I've been making, that it's corrupt, it's partisan, it favors Democrats, and they have no problem with our dual system of justice here.
Well, I mean, that was really disappointing from my standpoint. I mean, I couldn't believe the way that the Democrats were trying to make it all about Trump and trying to suggest that the Republicans are, creating this stuff. I mean, we've got whistleblower testimony, and they're always talking about how important whistleblowers are, and you've got bank records indicating corruption from the Biden family going on decades. Do they not think that's important?
No, they don't, because it favors them. Maria, when you don't have equal justice, you have no justice whatsoever. And it's very dangerous for a democracy, but Democrats, because it favors them, they don't care about that. Republicans care deeply about it. Our system of justice is not meant to target an individual like President Trump. It's meant to apply our laws equally, not let people off the hook like Hunter Biden. But that's not what's happening today, and Democrats could not care less.
That's unbelievable, Senator. You and a group of GOP senators are calling for protections for whistleblowers now. You sent a letter to AG Merrick Garland and FBI Director Christopher Wray writing, "We demand that you commit no taxpayer funds will be used by the DOJ or FBI to expose the identity or retaliate against any whistleblowers." Have you heard back?
No, and it's so sad that we have to write a letter like that. The federal government actually has very strong laws protecting whistleblowers. We just don't enforce them. Agencies retaliate against people that whistleblow with impunity. Now, I come from the private sector. If we would do in the private sector what government agencies do to whistleblowers, we would be sued out of existence. But these agencies just find out that there's really not much enforcement against on the whistleblower protection laws, and they just keep doing it to set an example. It's very effective, by the way, because that's why you have so few whistleblowers coming forward, and we need so many more to expose the truth.
So where is this going? I mean, there are efforts to impeach Merrick Garland now. That's not going to fly in the Senate, is it?
Well, we probably won't convict him, but I think the House absolutely should be holding impeachment hearings against Mayorkas, against Garland, against Anthony Blinken, who lied to my congressional investigators when he said he never emailed Hunter Biden. So I think the hearings in the House would be informative. This is how the American public understands what's happening here. The truth needs to be exposed.
Just extraordinary. Fox Business's White House correspondent Edward Lawrence asked the White House press secretary Karine Jean-Pierre about the timing of Bidenomics also. This happened yesterday. Watch this.
Why not in the first year of the presidency? Why now? So it rolls out next year as voters begin to vote for the presidential election.
We pass historical pieces of legislation. I just talked about the insulin being capped at $35, right, for seniors. That's something that we were able to pass last year in the Inflation Reduction Act. It's going to lower costs for energy, going to continue to lower costs on health care. These are actions that the president did. This is what we talk about Bidenomics.
Well, Senator, she's got her talking points there on Bidenomics. How do you see it?
Well, almost every policy this administration has pushed has further weakened this country. The open borders, the flood of deadly drugs, human trafficking, sex trafficking, which Democrats just seem to want to ignore, the liberal media wants to ignore. I mean, a great movie like Sound of Freedom is being, vilified in the press. 40-year high inflation, the war on fossil fuel driving up gasoline prices to record levels, the embarrassing and dangerous surrender in Afghanistan. I mean, I call that the list of horribles. Everything this president has done has weakened this country, emboldened our enemies, made the world a more dangerous place, and it keeps hollowing out the middle class here in America.
Wow. Lee Carter.
So 7 in 10 Americans right now believe that the elite and wealthy are treated differently than the rest of Americans. They believe in this. They also believe that 6 in 10 Republicans say that they're not represented or fought for by the government. And so many Americans are looking for fighters. People are going to fight for them, to represent them, to make sure that this fairness issue is addressed.
Well, let me just say one thing, because Donald Trump is a rich guy. He's not treated.
But they don't consider him elite. They don't consider him the elite ruling class.
I think it's more than just being elite. I think if you're a Democrat, you're treated differently. I don't know. Senator, what do you think?
Well, again, we don't have equal application of law in our country anymore. That's a shame. I think you do have an elite ruling class here. They're by and large above the law. We are hollowing out our middle class. I'm very concerned about the widening wealth gap. I just am. That's a very big concern, that we are hollowing out the middle class, but we're hollowing it out because of Democrat policies driving up inflation. $1 you held at the start of the Biden administration is worth only 86 cents. That's a tax on the middle class.
Tiana, real quick.
The CBO just released numbers showing that net interest payments on the national debt are going to outpace defense spending, non-defense discretionary spending before the end of the decade. It's getting very close to the point where interest payments will outpace Social Security and Medicare.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing about that? Because we've seen Americans have lost 16% of their purchasing power since Biden took office.
Well, Democrats keep spending like drunken sailors, and they don't want to stop. There's not a problem here in Washington, D.C., where more spending isn't the Democrat solution. It's got to stop. We are mortgaging our children's future. President Eisenhower actually warned us about this in his farewell address, about plundering the future, mortgaging our children's future, but that's what Democrat policies are doing.
Yeah. Senator, it's good to see you. Thanks very much. We're going to keep a spotlight on it, as you know. Senator Ron Johnson is in D.C. this morning. Thank you, sir.